All right, just to show you guys an example of what my assessment workout would look like. It's going to be really simple. It's going to be straightforward, but if you notice right away, there's lots of asterisks next to a lot of the exercise. Actually, just about every single exercise has an asterisk next to it because this is just literally a broad assessment. So I don't know who I'm walking into, who's walking into me at this moment. It could be like a former collegiate athlete. It could be a 55-year-old mom. So I don't really know. So it's a very broad blueprint that you're going to have to kind of adapt on the fly. And as you get more and more experience with training and with clients, you're going to be very, very quickly and very easily be able to adapt this, because it's very broad and it's very changeable depending on a person's ability level. So the one thing I will say, if you're newer, even if you're more experienced, you should always err on the side of, I will say that I always err on the side of caution, because I'd rather someone go a little too easy in a workout, or at least the first rounds, rather than accidentally kill them on the first round and they can't even finish the workout. So I'll always err on too light whenever I can with people when I'm just getting started with them. Because like I said, there's been times where maybe people throw up, or I've gone too hard on somebody and they just can't finish the workout. And I don't want that to happen, because usually they're not going to come back if that's the case. Now, if you are maybe a little bit more high intensity, or that's your brand and people are walking in expecting that, then, go a little crazy in these people. But for me, I'm typically going to err on the side of caution when it comes to these workouts. But again, it's very straightforward workout. Usually it's going to be like something like box jumps and med ball throws. It's going to do like 2 or 3 rounds of that, just to kind of give them that taste of the athletic experience. This is, changeable. If you got someone who can't jump for whatever reason, you can just drop those, or you can always change the boxes to really low heights or higher heights depending on that person. So again, very adaptable depending on that person's ability level. And med ball throws, like anybody can throw a medicine ball. If you don't have medicine balls, or you don't have access to like an easy upper body power kind of exercise, you can just drop those and replace it with a core exercise. It's totally fine. You can also do dumbbell snatches. Very simple for most people, not everybody, but if you got someone who's average to athletic, you can definitely throw those in. Now, as far as the workout itself, the strength section itself, usually just do two trisets, and you'll see this repeated with just about most of my other workouts, but 2 trisets, squat, push-ups, and I'll do reverse crunches for most people because they're like a pretty tough ab exercise and lots of people love their abs working. If it's someone who's overweight or they're like, very undertrained, then I'll just be basic plank, hands elevated plank, even if I need to. But again, you can adapt it as needed. So squat could just be a goblet squat. It could be a body weight squat. It could be a plate extended squat. So again, just judge by this person's ability level. If you got, younger guy, younger woman who's trained before, you can do front squats, you can do back squats, you can do 2 kettlebell rack squat, etc. Push-ups, very changeable for just about everybody on the fly. You can do hands on the floor. You can do plate on the back, hands on the floor. You can elevate their hands. And again, I've already talked about reverse crunch. After that, deadlift, I want to see if they can hinge, if they can hinge well. I want to see if they're pretty strong. Can they pick something heavy up off the floor? So that's always going to be universal. But again, it could be a kettlebell deadlift, could be trap bar deadlift, could be barbell deadlift, it could be hands or barbell elevated deadlift, could be kettlebell elevated deadlift. So you can really change this as needed. If it's someone who's just not getting the pattern down, or they're just completely like a mess and deadlifts are just really tough, you can give them a hip thrust, you can give them feet elevated glute bridge, so some sort of hinge exercise there. I just want to see a deadlift because I'm training more towards the strength side, and deadlifts is something I'm going to feature heavily in all of my programming. TRX row, again, really like this one because it's very adjustable. You can have someone put their feet elevated on a box if they're like high speed, super hardcore people, or you can back them all the way up as much as they need for someone who's older or just, not really strong at all. And then again, side plank, this could change just so many different things. If someone is overweight or older or getting up and down off the floor is going to be difficult, then I'll typically do something like a Pallof press here just because it's simple. And, I want them to feel... I don't want them to feel embarrassed because a lot of times people are overweight or are having a hard time getting up and down. It's just annoying. People who are overweight, they're going to be a little embarrassed. They're having such a hard time getting up and getting down. So I want people to have kind of a win when it comes to this first workout because I don't want to crush them unless I know that's what they're coming in for. And then I've left the bottom empty. This is really kind of dependent, again, on that person. So I typically will do some sort of conditioning work. So ESD... make sure that's in the thing. So ESD, so I typically will do some sort of conditioning, and it'll generally be something like a 30-90 on an Airdyne or like a rowing machine or something like that. if someone's a little bit, again, older or detrained, if they look like they're going to fall apart at this point, I'm not going to do anything with them. I'll just have them like do something like real, like 2 minutes, like super easy, bring their heart rate down on the Airdyne or a treadmill or whatever. If they still got a little bit of juice in them, it's going to be something like a 30-90 or a 20-40, something like that, maybe even like 20-60, just to kind of get an idea of where they are at as far as their conditioning levels, especially after having done that workout. So again, this is just an assessment at this point. I am trying to work them out still, but I'm not trying to crush them. So this is exactly the plan that I follow. As you get more and more experience with clients, you're gonna be able to dial this in on the fly. Like TRX rows can be changed to chin-ups if you have like a beast in there. And again, if they're not a beast, they can always back up. So all this is very changeable on the fly. This is the basic blueprint that I'm gonna use for every single one of my clients the first time they're walking into me.